what's the complication there, right? Like why should our listeners care? Okay, this is how it's divided, but why does that potentially complicate things?
Well, so it's important to understand that real estate, if you really want to be successful in real estate, it's important to understand that real estate and your investment formulas are more than just pro formas and like how many units you're buying, but also like what's going on in the neighborhoods that you're buying in, right? Because the neighborhoods that you're buying in, you should have, as a professional in real estate, an interest in the demographics. And when you're buying mixed use property, that's especially important because there's a commercial aspect to it. And those businesses rely on, feet on the street, rely on commercial traffic. And if you don't have someone that's allowing density to be built, for example, along a major commercial street, that's going to impact you and the value of your real estate. Because if you don't know that, that's going to tie back to you later when you're trying to figure out why your storefront isn't renting for X amount of square footage for, X dollars per square foot than the one that you would have thought would have happened just half a mile down the road that way. What's going on over there? You can see this a lot in Chicago, by the way. If you drive around Chicago, you could see development come up to like a street. And then if you haven't noticed, it stops, and it stops hard. And then after that, it's like a ghost land. And you're like, oh, this is obvious. I got to invest here. But that's not necessarily always the case. And that's because the wards don't necessarily create neighborhood-based wards. They create wards based off of an ethnic identity, which honestly, I mean, you can read some stuff about that even today. If you pick up the local Economist, there was an article about how the ward map drawing process in Chicago doesn't necessarily reflect the best way to service the public these days.
Is there anything positive about the way that these are drawn? I mean, when you look at the maps, it's a mess, and I would think the term of how they not salad bowl or however the saying is, like you're always going to keep this neighborhoods segregated. I know we're one of the most segregated based on neighborhood cities out there. Like this only enforces that and will prevent it from change. Is there anything positive that comes from this way to shape them?
Well, so real estate, if you want to be successful, is a study of demographics. And guess who else likes demographics? And specifically looks at maps and politicians. That's right. They love demographics. So you have to be at least as savvy as they are to understand what's going on. I don't think that there's a lot of value, and I'm going to cite that Economist article right now as an example of that, because right now, if you talk to a white person, an Asian person, a Latino person, a Black person, a lot of them have the same concerns at the really local level, and that is what? Education, crime, neighborhood features, transportation, a lot of the same concerns we all have living in the city of Chicago. And we've had a lot of progress in the 50 years since we passed that law, and that inability to acknowledge progress is something that's kind of a challenge. I mean, even Bill Maher made a joke about it. It's like we cannot seem to acknowledge progress at all. And that fundamentally allows the continued system to occur without any questioning. And it's important because if you don't question that system and the way it works, it just keeps reinforcing itself, and it doesn't necessarily benefit people who take an interest in, put a stake down in the communities that they want to invest in locally.